Call the school board meeting to order on June 4th. Dave, you take a roll call, please.
Ron.
Here.
John.
Here.
Levy.
Here.
Dave Ovenoff here. Joe. Here. Jim.
Present.
Dick. Absent.
Proof of notice.
As stated in the agenda.
Approval of the agenda. Motion by Nora. Second. Second by Joe. Questions on the agenda? Nora?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Motion carried 6-0-1. Citizens' comments? Resolution 1718255, approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Joe. Seconded by? Second. Ron. Any questions on the minutes? Joe?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Motion carried 5-0-2. No FFA report. Yes, we do have an FFA.
Oh, I'm not
report.
FFA.
Also, St. John's,
What's that?
FFA, student council's here tonight. FFA has a 6 o'clock meeting as well,
Okay.
so they'll join us next time.
Okay. Student council.
Hello, my name is Taylor Trost. I am the current president for next year. Recently, in the month of May, we have nominated and elected our next year's officers. Congratulations to the following: Ella Miller as vice president, Katie Huizinga as treasurer, Elena Hazelberg as secretary, and Elizabeth Dukowski as historian. We have been looking up into the upcoming homecoming, working around the referendum, possibly moving the dance to the middle school cafeteria, changing the locations of the float decorating.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Mhm.
Sure.
We're thinking about the area behind the middle school, kind of that driveway.
They said, well, one, the cafeteria will be done.
So,
So just so you know, that should be good to go, so you might want to be in that space.
okay.
The roundabout area for and the parking
Mhm.
piece, that might be all done as well by the time homecoming starts. But in the meantime, as far as where your floats go and that kind of stuff, I don't know.
Just in case, you
I
know,
think that's a good idea. Come up with a
complications.
plan B. Yep. Smart.
That's pretty much all we have planned, and we're looking forward to the next year.
Okay, thank you, Taylor.
Thank you.
Dave, any communications?
No.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna move down to PTA 8th grade essays. Winners with Beth. Kelly.
Hello, I am Beth Held, and I am here as a member of the PTA this evening, and I'm presenting 8th grade essays. The PTA came up with the idea about 9 years ago to have a essay contest for the 8th graders to offer some type of a scholarship program for the graduating 8th graders. Again, this is the 9th year that we've offered this opportunity. The theme of the essay is always, I believe the following opportunity offered by Mayville Middle School has helped me prepare for the future, and these are the reasons why. The theme was chosen because as members of the PTA, we have seen firsthand the wonderful opportunities offered by the middle school, and thought it was important to give our students a means to express their thoughts on these opportunities as well. I also believe that it's important for you, our administration, and our community to hear about these opportunities and why the students feel that they've helped them to grow as individuals. This year we had 45 essays submitted, and I can assure you as a judge that it was very hard to choose which were the outstanding 3. And it was evident that many of the students gave their full effort and thought into these essays. There's a panel of 5 judges. This year it was 2 PTA members, 2 middle school staff members, and John Westfall. Thank you. Instead of giving out cash as our prizes, the top winner won a tablet. A Texas Instrument calculator was given to second place, and third place gets $50 in Barnes & Noble gift cards. We want to offer something to the students that they can use as they come up to the high school. All the students who submitted essays were also put into a participation drawing for prizes. And I don't have any of my authors here, so I will read their essays for them. First place was written by Sabrina Schmidt, and her essay is, "One way that the middle school has prepared me for my future is by giving me the opportunity to play team sports such as volleyball. Volleyball has prepared me for my future because it gave me the opportunity to work with other people and build a team bond. That is important in my future because I might need to work with other people in a future job, and volleyball has taught me how to do that. Another way volleyball has helped me for my future is that it taught me that hard work and dedication will get me further than not working hard. In volleyball, you have to work hard to get better for yourself and the team, and in the real world, I will need to work hard and give dedication to be able to do good on the projects and work I have to do. Volleyball has also taught me that people's differences can be helpful even if it doesn't seem like it at first. Some people might be really good at setting, but maybe not good at spiking. But some other people might be the opposite and be good at spiking and not setting. But if we had a team that was all the same and everyone was good at setting, but no one was good at spiking, we wouldn't be as good of a team. That will be helpful in my future because there are different types of people in the world, and we have to learn to work with each other's strengths and weaknesses. Mayville Middle School has helped prepare me for my future in a lot of ways, but giving me the opportunity to play volleyball was the one that helped me a lot for my future." So,
Very
makes
nice.
perfect sense. The second place winner was Erin Bonneau, and she wrote, "Being in forensics has prepared me for my future by teaching me teamwork, encouraging me to be outspoken, and sharpening my speaking skills. In forensics, there are scripts that involve more than one speaker, and communication plays a big role in the integrity of the piece. Understanding other people's lines as well as they do makes the presentation of the piece better and easier. Communication and understanding, I've learned, are the key to succeeding as a team. Teamwork will play a big role in any future career that I will have, so learning to work as a team is crucial to my future. Forensics also encourages you to speak louder. In order to get the message of the piece across, you need to speak with a clear and strong voice. These qualities, transferred into my everyday life, make it easier to be more outspoken. Being outspoken is frequent in everyday life and will help me to be a contributing member of society in the future. Forensics' main goal is to sharpen speaking skills. Knowing when to look up or take a pause will improve the interpretation of the piece. Also, knowing when to incorporate different tones or change the pace of the speech will capture the audience's attention and keep them interested through the entire piece. Knowing how to correctly give a speech will help with future projects and presentations. The things I have learned in forensics has helped me before and will continue to help me in the future." Our third place winner was Madison Stagewar, and she wrote, "Mayville Middle School has done an amazing job preparing me for the future. They have offered many different learning experiences for me to succeed in the future. Out of all of the amazing opportunities, the one I'm most grateful for was the chance to go to 6th grade camp. 6th grade camp was an amazing opportunity to learn about so many things that we are going to need in the future. At camp, we learned about survival in many different situations. Stuff we learned like how to make a fire, find food, get clean water, and what to do when someone is hurt or sick will all help me in the future if I ever get into a situation where I am lost or something else has happened. We learned about rocks, animals, the outdoors, and so much more. Just knowing most of this is so important even if you are not going into a job that involves any of it, because knowing about these things can help make sure you respect them and keep them safe as well. Overall, making the world a much better place. Not only did we learn about how to survive on our own, about the outdoors, and about working together to get a greater outcome, but camp made learning all of this so much fun. Camp was one of the most educational and beneficial things of my time at Mayville Middle School. It was fun and has made me a much better person, and in many ways, it will help me in my future. My whole entire time at Mayville Middle School was extremely beneficial, but camp was one of my favorites. So I think when we read the essays, it's fun for us to hear all the kids' opinions. There was a lot of them that, there was a field trip where the 8th graders went to John Deere and Moraine Park, and there were a lot of essays about that, a lot of them about sports and team building. So it's nice to hear their perspective on what's helping them grow. So.
It's a very nice program that you put on.
Lori Stroop, she's the brain behind it all, so, but we appreciate it, so it's a good opportunity for us to connect with the kids as well.
Yeah, it's fun reading them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, to see where some of these kids, where their thoughts are.
Right.
So, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And the certificates, I think you have them.
Yes.
But maybe Mr. Schlender could take them with him, he's gonna see
Okay.
them.
Okay.
All right, thank you, John. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay, we'll move back up. Resolution 1718-256, approval of regular semi-monthly bills. So motion by Nora, second by Questions on the bills? Hearing none. Nora?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried 6-0-1. Buildings and Grounds Committee report. I know Dick is not here, but somebody from that group can.
Well, I say,
Joel-
Marco
Joel
Polo
is-
wasn't here, he's on one of his trips again. So Jim and I took him, but Joel is here and let him discuss.
In my report later, I've got a summary of some of the major things that we covered. Do you want me to do that right now, or
Yeah, sure, go for
do you
it.
mind if I do that? And then let me bug out. So, probably the most significant agenda item that we tackled at our recent Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting was the approval of the capital maintenance plan for the 2018-19 school year and budget year, including the selection of the winning bids for some of the more major projects. So the handout that you just received, the top page, front and back, is a summary of the projects that are planned for the year with the expected dollar values for those projects. And I'll walk through them very quickly, and if you have any questions specific to any of these projects, feel free to ask, and I'll do what I can to answer. We've got a modest amount budgeted for some concrete repairs and improvements throughout the district. The goal there is to identify areas of need and address those so that we don't fall behind in the upkeep of our concrete. Likewise, we have a minimal amount budgeted for upgrades of matting. Those would be like walk-off mats as you come into buildings for inclement weather times. Front door signage for each of our buildings. These would be like a nicer graphic that would identify the school hours, phone numbers, web address, things like that. And then movement of a meter on the a water meter on the practice football field so that it's more accessible to those who have to take that meter in and out. Specific to the high school, on the northwest corner of the gym, there's a concrete stairway coming out of the building that we need to add a railing to for safety purposes. And we intend to label all of the exterior windows and entrances when they are replaced so that emergency personnel can identify which rooms they're looking at from the outside of the building. At the middle school, we've been working with Upper 90 to do a lighting project. They came in and did a district-wide assessment of our lighting with the with the agreement on our part that we would do at least some project with them. We're gonna start by addressing the 7th and 8th grade classroom pods at the middle school. And there's about 3 pages deep, there's a quote for that project in there that comes to about $24,400. That would put in like lighting controls, dimmer switches, zone lighting, and of course the whole lighting would be LED, so energy savings that come with that. You'll also find in your packet the winning bid for the replacement of the auditorium carpeting at the middle school. Not just carpeting, but flooring. We're looking to add Tajima, like a hard flooring surface on the upper landing at the auditorium, and then recarpet the remainder of the auditorium. That carpeting is in tough shape and needs some attention. We're waiting on some bids to come back, but we're looking to add some doors and windows to some of the pods. We've got a map of the building that outlines where those are intended to go and what our priority lists are. So depending on how those bids come back, we'll tackle as much of that work as we can with the money that's been allocated. We're going to replace one bubbler in the 6-8 classroom area to be a bottle filling bubbler. We've done that in some other areas of the school, and those have been well received and well used. And at the middle school, we're going to add a chemical storage unit for the science area so they can safely store their chemicals. At Parkview, there's some money allocated to develop a sensory room. We have some fence and asphalt repairs that were originally scheduled to be done this year. We didn't get to that project this year for budgetary reasons, so we've deferred that to next year. We're kind of waiting on that project right now because part of the referendum is to run a new power source to the building, a new transformer, as well as the installation of a chiller. And depending on where those get placed and how those lines for those units run, we may do some of that asphalt and fence repair as part of that project, just for an efficiency savings. A modest amount for new classroom rugs. These would be the rugs that kids sit on at the elementary school when they have instructional time. Some money allocated to improve the landscaping on the front beds. Some playground mulch refreshing, adding urinal dividers to the urinals for privacy, and no dollar amount attached, but another project is to the potential relocation of the de-escalation. You'll flip with me to the back side. A big ticket item, and you'll find the approved quote of the 3 quotes that we got for the replacement of the press box stairs on the press box at the football stadium. Those stairs are in really tough shape and need to be replaced. I don't trust them. I don't want to be going up and down them anymore. They haven't passed. We were told when they were inspected this spring that they would not pass inspection the next time. So we plan to have those done in July. At the high school, there's a quote for implementation of a handrail system on the bleachers for our home events. We've had elderly people. This past year we had a gal who was pregnant who fell coming out of our bleachers because we don't have those kind of hand railings, so we've got a system being put in to address that. At our football stadium, where we've added that portable bleacher system for the youth to sit at, we're going to do some work around that with concrete and railings for safety reasons. And we're also replacing the main hoops and mounting brackets in the high school gym. Those were jerry-rigged, if you will. The mounting bracket that exists is not meant for the pole that it sits on. That it's mounted with angle iron. That angle iron has been cut to make it mountable, which compromises the integrity of that system. And we found that through a routine inspection and have addressed that. And then at the bus garage, we're looking to put in a new safety eye and safety stops on the overhead door at the bus garage. So again, you'll find the winning bid or quote for the big ticket projects attached to the handout, if you have any questions about that.
Question for you, is every single bid the lowest bid that we took?
Yes, every bid that's included on there is the lowest bid. If there are no other questions, if you wouldn't mind, I'll do my quick, I'll switch hats and share some updates from the athletic world. Last time I was here, I reported about the challenges that Mother Nature provided this spring. We have persevered and overcome, and I'm really pleased to come to you tonight and share with you some successes of our athletic program this spring. We really had a great spring. Just kind of running down the list, our baseball team finished second in the conference. They had a 10-10 overall record. They ended up losing in the regional semifinals. They ended up with the conference player of the year, voted by the coaches in Jacob Schelfeffer. So that's quite an honor. And in golf, our golf team finished second in the conference behind St. Mary Springs, who's a three-time defending state champion team with their entire team back from last year. So the goal was to finish second in the conference. That was the realistic goal, and they did that. They actually finished second at the conference meet. Their season ended at the regionals. Our soccer team, our girls soccer team, is the only team that is left competing at this point in time. They were the regional champions as of Saturday. They've advanced to the sectional semifinals, and we will host that match on Thursday night at Ribbons Field. They will play Wisconsin Heights Barneveld, that co-op team, and for the opportunity to move on to the sectional finals on Saturday. I don't know, so I knew Rachel Wagner, one of our players, was several weeks ago was the leading scorer in the state, so I went back on today to double check to make sure she still was, and she still is. She's got 123 total points this year. But when I looked at that, I was shocked to see that we also had the second leading scorer in the state in Kenna Conrad. Rachel's the leading goal scorer in the state, and she was also named the Conference Player of the Year. So an incredibly talented young lady, and we hope our soccer team can continue their run to success this year. Our softball team also had a great year. They were the conference champions. They finished with an overall record of 17-2. They lost to Westfield in the regional championship game, and Westfield has persevered and will be playing at state. So they lost to a team that qualified for state. Softball also had the Conference Player of the Year in Abby Van Beek. And our track team, our boys, finished fourth in the conference. Our girls were the conference champions and the regional champions. And they just returned back from lacrosse from the state meet this past week. On the boys' side, Jackson Middlestead competed in the high jump. On the girls' side, our 4x800 meter relay team, made up of Mallory Ferrari, Amber Schroffnagel, Samantha Falstad, and Faith Danner, with Cecily Hertini as an alternate, competed at the state meet. Elena Wagner finished 8th at state in the 200 meter dash and scored our only point at the state meet. And Sydney Schultz competed in both the shot and the disc at the state meet. So we had a strong representation at the state meet, and our kids competed really well. I thought it was noteworthy that when the girls won the conference championship in track this year, this is an incredible number that I learned of. That was Bob Berry's 77th conference championship as a coach in our district. That's got to be some kind of unprecedented number. First of all, it takes incredible longevity along with incredible success to accumulate that number of conference championships. I think we'd be hard pressed to find many coaches who would even come close to that. So that was worth mentioning.
That's quite a spring season. There's three sports with player of the year.
All three sports were that's a coach's vote.
Yeah.
Of course, in track, it's determined. I guess that's a coach's vote also. So in the end, golf is by finish. So yeah, we had a great year. Our kids were very well represented at our